We are in a government in Africa called Government of National Unity, which is a lie, because it can't be a government of national unity if it doesn't involve everyone. Mandela's government of national unity involved everyone. That's why he called it Government of National Unity. And Mandela did not do it because he did not have numbers. Mandela won the elections, but said, even if I've won, I need everybody to come together to build the country. Not because I need you for you to vote for me to be the president. Mandela's GNU was a genuine GNU. This one is a grand coalition of the DA and the ANC. And it is not an ANC initiative, because you think it's the ANC that came with that. No. The DA came with what we called moonshot. The moonshot was an attempt to get all parties that are sponsored by the Oppenheimers and everybody else to come together and get 50% plus, and then isolate the ANC, EFF, and everybody else who represent the African agenda. That was their idea. When they failed to get 51%, they abandoned Herman Mashaba without saying goodbye. And went to ask the ANC the same they asked of others. When they could not achieve it through other people, they left those people and said, no man, when I come here, we can win this thing together. We don't need anyone. But the ANC during elections never formed a moonshot. Never said after elections, I will have all these parties working together. It's the DA that said that. But after election, there are people who are working together. Why does it start after the elections? It started before the elections, when the DA said moonshot could not arrive at the moon. They had to find something else.
Mr. Malema said it's not going to last. I hear people say the GNU is not going to last. I came here today to tell you the GNU, and you must take it from the bad boy of the GNU. If there's going to be a problem, I will be in the center of whatever problem might arise there. The GNU is going to last for the next 5 years. And we run the risk of South Africans loving this GNU so much that they give us another 5 years of GNU.
EFF and the Zuma party rejected the GNU. And when we agreed on the statement of intent, they did not agree to that. So what should we do? We wait for them and their perspective, we incorporate them and all of that. That's not how it should be, okay? The EFF said they want to remove the ANC surgically out of power. And they will work with the DA and the Freedom Front Plus and everybody else to remove the ANC. Julius Malema, the president of the EFF, aka CIC, he's the first to talk about the GNU. Malema said, we want the GNU in South Africa to remove the ANC. Be careful about what we wish for. We have a GNU with the ANC as a leader, not ANC removed. He was advocating for a GNU with everybody, long before we even entered the election. You can go to the records. He's there saying that. He's there saying that. Exactly what I'm saying. So today he says in his rally, ANC is a sellout. Now, when they give him this nickname, that is a flip-flopper, it is exactly around issues like that. It's not consistent. He said South Africa needs a GNU, but a GNU to remove the ANC. Didn't happen. There is a GNU in this country with the ANC in the driving seat. Deputy President of EFF, Floyd Shivambu, says the ANC is a dying party. I see even Helen Zille shares the perspective.
You look at them and say, these are not South Africans. These are Nigerians. This can't be Miss South Africa. This can't be that. Marfel Yoon can be a player of rugby, South Africa, and get celebrated, no one will dare to question, where does this surname of Viljoen come from? Anything that sounds different from you, you hate. You know, comrades, the concept makwere comes from the tribalists who could not hear the other ones. When you speak, the tribalists, they say they don't hear you, but because they can't hear your language. When you speak, they hear. So you can't use that. You can't use that to want to rule out individuals. Comrades, we are hated everywhere else by allowing free movements of goods and persons, and by allowing one African passport. People say, Malema says, borderless Africa, he wants people without documents. How can he want people without documents when he's got documents himself? Because it's supposed to start with me. If we are in a struggle for not having documents, we must do like Mandela did and go and ban these IDs. One continental passport means that we must all be documented, and there must be an African system on where do we find each other. You can't commit crime here and run to Swaziland.
I was jumping in the plane, and a lady was sitting next to me, only the two of us. She's a Zimbabwean, and she was shivering. And I asked her, are you cold? And she was scared to speak. And she said, I'm scared of you. I said, why? She said, because you hate foreigners. I engaged her for 2 hours from Cape Town. And I said to her that the great Nelson Mandela, the Ethiopians had to give him a passport because he loves law and order. He didn't go to other countries on the back of a crocodile. He had to get a passport from the Ethiopians because he understands countries have rules. I explained to the lady that I am not xenophobic, but every country has laws that needs to be followed. Because when you kill somebody here, we want to be able to find you. But if you are undocumented, we will not be able to find you. And there are some amongst us that is using foreigners, illegal foreigners, to reverse the gains of the freedom fighters. Because then they don't need to pay them a living wage. Then they don't need to register them for UIH. They still want back the kafir mentality that they can lord over people with a darker color than them. Hence, they act like they care for those foreigners. And they don't. They are using them because they want to lord over them the way they lorded over us before we were released from the bondage of apartheid. You have scientists from Zimbabwe being gardeners in this country. How can that be right? You have teachers being waiters from Zimbabwe. How can that be right? They are being exploited. I will never be a spectator to the exploitation of another black man or white man or colored man for as long as I'm alive. Everybody coming to this country, come through the right channels, and you shall be feeling our great hospitality in this country.
It is said that Chidima is a South African. She's born of the parents of South Africa, right? What? The mother? Yes. The mother is South African. Educate me. And the father? The father is a foreign national. Okay, we must apply our laws in relation to that. We must be guided by the law. She's a naturalized, or she was born here in South Africa with a Nigerian father and a mother from South Africa. She was born in our country. So what is our law saying in relation to that? So we must be guided by the law in relation to that. Let's not have a debate, unending debate around that particular issue. because we will go off tangent and polarize South Africa and society at large. You know the issue of foreigners in our country, what it has done because of the criminal behavior of some foreigners in South Africa. So it's a sensitive issue, and it must be clarified, and so on. And we need to deal with that particular issue, guided by the laws of our own country. That is what is important. We must not be populist. We must be guided by the laws of South Africa and clarify the matter once and for all. It is very strange in this debate. You are asking us a question. The organizers of this are quiet, and then they've allowed this girl to go, to be out there and attacked and all of that. The organizers are not saying anything. Government, Schreiber, Home Affairs, he must clarify this issue. DA, Minister. The minister must clarify this particular issue so that you don't allow victimizing. I've seen comparisons that have been made, Vanessa Carrera, Portuguese, and all of that, and so on. I've seen that in the public domain. So those issues need to be clarified. But this matter brings into sharp question about immigration laws, and at the same time, where does it place us? Is she entitled to participate? I think South Africans are more, Nigerians are forward. They are going to say we have a Miss South Africa in South Africa. I mean, we argue with them about Amapiano. They now say Amapiano is theirs. And when they came with a good genre, Afropop, Nigeria was leading us, hitting us nicely. We enjoyed, we're even dancing to this, Dibanj and them. And then when it came our turn, Amapiano, Nigerians are claiming Amapiano. And then the economy, Nigeria is #1 economy in Africa. We overtake them, they keep quiet. So South Africa is #1 economy. So this competition that goes on between South Africa and Nigeria. So we need to clarify that issue from the perspective of the laws of this country. And so that we don't allow Chidima to be victimized in the manner in which she may feel at the end that she's left out there to dry. So the organizers and government must clarify that particular issue. So we'll keep an eye on that.